Hey, YouTube. Let me get myself together here. Look at that lovely face. Hi, Princess A. Randy Boo. You guys, I had to come on here. I was just scrolling through YouTube, right? And I stumbled on this this person's page. And this person is reading a book, right? She's a very dramatic type reader. And what I realized she's reading my book, The Epiphany. This book right here. Now, we hear on YouTube a lot talk about The Meth Monster, right? That was another kind of book. That was a memoir. This is a work of fiction. It is the second book in the series. But she was reading it so well that I was actually drawn into the story before I realized it was my own book. Now, this young lady, she had contacted me maybe a week or so ago and said, just for permission to read it. Some people say you got to have permission to read someone else's work kind of thing, right? So I said, sure, read. You want to read it? Read it. But I had forgotten all about it. And I heard this woman reading this book, and I said, damn, she has captured the characters beautifully. She should be professional. I don't know if he has done professional work, but I want to recommend you guys go over there and check her out. Her name is Almond Brown, Almond Delights Reading. So Almond Brown 09 is her channel. I'm going to post the link here. But I was so impressed with her reading. I said, damn, when I was trying to find make an audio book, this is the woman that I needed. It's great. So I'm recommending her channel. Let me put it here in the, I'll put it down here in the chat first. Okay. Right. And so she's going to read it every Monday at 9 p.m. I said, I could sit through that. Hell, I was enjoying myself. There's a big difference. I use my Kindle all the time to listen to books, right? But that is a mechanical voice, a mechanical manufactured voice. It's nothing like when you have an actual dramatic reader reading the story, right? And so, in my opinion, this is the best I've heard of any a book that I've ever written. My issue was I didn't know how to promote my books, right? I could do the Meth Monster, okay. People like that kind of story, kind of thing. They want to find out who you are, and things like that. But as far as the fiction, I just was I never mastered the art of how to promote a book, how to promote a work of fiction, particularly a series of books, right? But I think if you listen to this book, she has captured the spirit of the Epiphany very well. That's like my favorite one. It's the second, but you don't need to read other books to enjoy it. So it's like $5 on Amazon if you want to read along with her. But yeah, it got me right up out of my chair. I said, look, listen to that Epiphany. And she, I mean, it sounds so smoothly coming from her mouth. So I'm very impressed with her. Okay. So I'm going to post that link. I want you guys to go check it out. She's only reading 2 chapters, right? She read 2 chapters tonight. Paste. And she's going to do that every Monday. So I know this person has been one of us. I mean, she's been a part of the chat for a long time, but I never knew she had that kind of ability. So I recommend it. And then hopefully if the book draws you in, you can check into the other books. But that's my favorite. How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? Hey, everyone. Okay, so I put the link in. Okay. What else is going on, people? Who we drag? Mr. Jew, we're not dragging anyone today. I'm just saying that this is this girl is reading my book, The Epiphany, which is something I've always wanted to have done. I've never heard it as an audio book, but she does it like an audio book. So she just reads a couple of chapters a week. But you guys check it out. I think you'll be impressed. You're going to say, oh, my God, he really does write. I mean, your memoir, that's not really, that's just telling of a story. But to create something out of nothing, it's a whole different thing, right? But I was saying that was sounding good before I even realized it was mine. So we ain't dragging nobody, Mr. Jude, unless I don't know. I see some things going on there. Ain't none of my business. It's amazing how somebody's dragging somebody every day. But I ain't got nobody to drag today. How y'all doing? You girls read, women read a lot more than men. I mean, the numbers are really pretty incredible. Very few men are avid readers, but a lot of women read. I think it's a great story. Mm-hmm. Hey, Nikki. There you are, Almond Brown. I hope the people, when you go over there, always click on the subscribe. Subscribe to her channel. Support each other. Right? She's supporting me out of nowhere. I mean, just came out of nowhere. So I'm encouraging you to subscribe to her channel, give her a thumbs up, and listen to the read. It's a good read. She captured the spirit of the book perfectly, in my opinion. Okay. Let's show her that we have some power over here. We can make things happen. I wish I had that talent. I wish I could just read out loud kind of thing. I'm dyslexic, so my reading is always choppy and stuff like that. That's why I don't do it myself, But that's a talent. It's an ability to be able to capture things and then express them dramatically when you're talking about several different people. It's an art to that. Sex in May. Hi, Sex in May. What made you write the book? The Epiphany? Well, after I finished The Meth Monster, I started writing a book called Love and Gospel Music. It's a coming of age story. It's a much bigger book. And then that was like 420 pages. That was a big book. I just like writing. I just want to try my hand in writing, right? And even though this series is fiction, there's such thing as reality in fiction, right? So I write a lot about the church experience, the gay experience, several love affairs. But I wouldn't say that the series is about gay people necessarily, even though the two primary characters are two lovers. All the people are around the people, right? The grandmother characters is strong. The mother characters, the sisters characters, the characters all through the book, all kind of people. But then after I finished the Love and Gospel Music, people wanted to know, well, what comes after this? And then we got into the story of Joey White. That was his lover. In Love and Gospel Music, this young guy who we're following, he starts writing to God at 10 years old, right? He falls in love. He moves to LA and falls in love with this gospel singer at about 20 years old, right? And that from that point on is really their love story, which becomes a story of a record company, a gospel record company, music company kind of thing. But it covers so many subjects in the original novel. After that novel, then Dwayne it's a spoiler. Dwayne ends up being killed by a crazed fan, right? And so in the Epiphany, his lover, his partner, Joey White, who was the gospel singer, is now contemplating dying. He's having a very hard time. And he meets these Epiphany, and it takes off from there. These Epiphany, somebody come to me and tell me something, right? And I look over there, ain't nobody there. But all of a sudden, I know what to do next. That's like you have an epiphany. The Epiphany are messengers. So I don't want to spoil that book. I think a lot of you will get into it. But she's going to be on every Monday night, 9 o'clock. Okay? Where is this? Okay, let me see. Hey, little guys. Greetings to all. Greetings to all. What else is going on today? People are still talking a little bit about the Patti LaBelle. I didn't see that Dionne Warwick come on there. I must have left the last half hour. But it seems like everybody enjoyed it. It looks like I'm so bad. Gladys got the most. Are they presenting this thing as verses, as this Gladys versus Patti? Are they saying these are just verses from their music? So they're just chiming in verses from the music. I think that's what it is. It's not like a competition who is the best, but everybody seems to think that Gladys Knight did a better job. Although it's still great to see both of them. You know, Patti her voice is just not like, her voice is a series of riffs and things, right? So for her to try to sing to a pre-recorded song where a voice is singing and she's trying to match in with that singing and making it sound like she's singing with it, it didn't work. She needed to be singing. She needed to be singing just with a track with the music. And I just found out through James's channel that some of I don't know why I just crash on names like that. Some of Gladys Knight's music was her singing just her voice with the track. Some was, some wasn't, right? Anyway, so we all enjoyed that. You should hear her sing, Unc. You should hear who sing. Who you saying, Nikki? She hear Patti LaBelle sing? I know I hear Patti LaBelle, honey. Believe me, I am very well on Patti LaBelle singing. And she still has that voice. It won't be as strong as it was when she was in her 20s and 30s, of course. But she can still handle that. It's just her trying to track with the voice coming over the microphone, over the speaker. Then they were having all kind of difficulty. I mean, I don't think that kind of singing works for her. I would rather hear her singing just to a track with no voices in the track, just or maybe the background singers and just her. But she ain't got nothing to be ashamed of, honey. They've both had beautiful careers. No notification? How do you get notifications? Does that mean you ring that bell? Just click the bell? I've never clicked the bell, really, to watch. I just go on and see who's on right now kind of thing. That's the way I watch television, too. I just turn the channels. Y'all remember the day of the TV Guide when they only had 4 or 5 channels? And you can go to TV Guide and see what's coming on tonight and all that stuff. I recognize something was amiss. Yeah. I just think that I always have thought that Gladys Knight is just a sexy looking woman to me. That mouth of hers is just sexy looking, right? And it's held up well through the years. She said she gained some weight. I didn't see it. I mean, we've all picked up a little bit, but she looked good. Patty looked good. I mean, they both look good. Almond Brown sing? Oh, she sings too? I got to go check out some of these people in this chat. I had no idea. She certainly does. She's a good reader. I'll go over there and do a little more investigation. But you guys go over there. It's just a simple click, honey. You can click on people, encourage their page, whatever. You ain't got to go back there necessarily. But at least show enough support. I've joined your channel, you know. I will certainly be looking in. I also, when she was reading, I said, damn, boy, you got to go back and write some more. You got to do that. God don't give us gifts just to sit on our ass on them, right? He wouldn't have gave it to you if he didn't intend for you to use it. So we continue to pray. It's going to be a great day. I'll tell y'all when I'm really I've started several projects and start and stop and all that kind of shit. You got to, when I'm really into a story, you know it about maybe 3 chapters in, then you know you're working on something. I'll let you guys know when that story happens. I've got a couple of them. I made it to 3 and installed. It wasn't right. 76 and 77. Them gonna be some long livers there, honey. He'll get late done. All still get late or none. Yeah, that's the Lisa Jackson. That's a YouTube thing where you're not getting these notifications and things. I don't even know how they work. Sometimes people say going live at a certain time or whatever, and I always click the reminder, but I never go check my email, so I don't know if they remind me or not. Okay, there's 4 of them out there, Almond Brown. We'll see where it goes. Sherry, yes, I remember it was Ray Charles singing most of the time. Okay, I got to go back and find out what Sherry was saying. What are you saying, Sherry? I remember when they ended every night of the television by playing national. Oh, that was, yeah, I remember that. Ray Charles. Oh man, this is America. God doesn't shed his grace on me. I loved his voice too. Who determines what a great voice is? I mean, some people say some of these raspy old voices singing the blues and things, those considered great singers, right? Some of these church guys in the thing, they have this old church voices. Some would say that was great singing. Some would say it was just growling. But who would have ever thought that rapping, talking, will one day take over the whole music industry? And it has. I admire those people. Those people made something out of nothing, honey. And can't even sing. Most of them don't sing. But they created their own thing, honey. In poetry. Miracle. God. Y'all like that? I always like when he started. Georgia. Georgia. Oh, sweet song, keep Georgia on my mind. Charles Dodson, they are the same age. Both are 4 days apart. Okay. Some of y'all music followers, y'all know all about Patty. Y'all know all about every diva. Y'all know all about Ross. I'd like to hear Dinah Ross do some more talking because you remember how big she was? I mean, before the Jackson 5, Dinah Ross was like the pinnacle, the height as far as a female singer. But we don't hear that much from her. And I think she still sings. But she should definitely, who would Dinah Ross be matched with if she was doing verses? Dinah Ross, let me see. I don't know. Her and Tina Turner's music is so different. I don't know. I'm not a music person. I like when people ignite memories, though. The Midnight Train, too. They played that one twice last night. I know Miss Patti LaBelle got choice words for the music, especially the teleprompter people. She's known for that. All that diva. You're supposed to do that off camera, Miss Patti LaBelle. Excuse me. I'd love to hear Tina Turner. I know she has some health problems recently, but that woman sang well into her 70s. Dinah Ross is 76 as well. That mean all the same age? Yep. I guess they all be 10 years before me. If I was 16 listening to their music, then they would be 26. Something like that. Upside down, boy, you turn me inside out and round. They couldn't touch the amount of music those ladies have, though. I mean, Patti LaBelle, she was making for many years, album every other year or so. Boy, you turn me. I want my soul all over his body. That was Michael Jackson wrote that. I ain't never felt Miss Dionne Warwick. Do you know the way to San Jose? I've been so far. LA is a great big freeway. I don't know why I never really got into her. I think the sound that I liked when I was young was a more soulful sound. It's amazing, but really our music, we pick most of that up as teenagers, 20-year-olds, 20s and early 30s. That's when people buy most records. And those are the songs that stay with you. So even when you're an old man like me, you're still going to remember the songs from when you were that age. Seems like some people keep up. You know, I couldn't tell you the lyrics to one rap song. Let me see, Tina Turner. Tina Turner is actually 80. Well, that's only 3 years more than these other girls. But I think she has some health issues recently. I mean, I don't know. I don't expect these people to come out here and perform the way they used to. I mean, it's crazy. But we just want to see them. We just want to see their face. Show me your face. I want to. Donnie is 79. Oh, Dion, she is legend. See, that's only 2 years more. They're all the same age, basically, then. All those people, they started in the 60s, reigned in the 70s and 80s. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. I ain't gonna say no names. Just a private dancer, a dancer for money. Any old music will do. He had that sleepy bedroom look. Like just another trick. Gonna make $1 million. Dancer for money. That whole album, that was a comeback of hers, right? And in the 80s. That was a huge, huge project of hers. So she had been out of the spotlight for a little bit. Private dancer. What else was in there? Something about, you're the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone. I'm hooked on your love. God gives those kind of gifts, honey. Like I said, Tina, enemy, you sing like a man. You sing like a man. It was the way she sang, the confidence in which she sang. She's really very well recognized as a rock and roll star too. It wasn't. I don't know if Tina Turner had all that many hit records though. I mean, that album there where she had to come back, that was huge. But before they were more performers. The Tina Turner Overdrive, shaking those tails while Ike cracked the whip. Knightbush City limit, 25 was the speed limit. They go to church on Sunday. They cabaret every Monday. They call it Knightbush, a little old town. All Knightbush in the Knightbush City limit. Cold. I used to say this. I know it was wrong, but it sounded like to me she was saying cold pussy for sale. Da-da-da-da. I know it wasn't. That wasn't the words. But I sang that song like that the whole time, all through the 80s. That was her hometown, I believe. Okay, there's some of y'all are afraid to speak up, right? So we have somebody who's not afraid to tell the truth. This person's name is Hip to the Dip. Your name is a song. Hip to the hippity hop hop. Okay. She has 3 emojis, monkey emojis doing this. But she says, she says, okay, Uncle. Okay. So Uncle Tim, I love you more than a fat kid loves cake. But honestly, the singing is a bit too much. And then she has the monkeys. I appreciate your honesty, and I'm sure that you're not the only one who shares those sentiments of Mr. Hip to the hippity hip hop. We just do the best we can, baby. We're just being ourselves. I'll try to be kind, though. I do tend to get carried away when they start singing, honey. The one place you can go and sing, nobody can shut your ass up. See, somebody said, Almond Brown says, I love you singing. And that's the person they say that can sing. A real singer. It's all in. Don't be so serious, people. Don't be so serious. Please don't say that about my favorite person. Oh. But this Uncle Tim channel. So it's two schools of thought there, brother or sister. I don't know. What are you? Well, it actually doesn't matter. I've had them come off and said, please. They said, please don't sing. Don't say anything but that, honey. I've even had them in my church. They cover their ears when I start singing, when I start getting happy, you know. Getting happy. Please don't. Oh, okay. Honey, we don't take nothing too seriously around here. Sing WAP. I don't remember now. There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house. I try to just have a verse, you know. I should be on verses. Thank you, B Scales. Wet and gushy. Wet and gushy. Y'all see, what was that boy? Kelly Love, when he tried to explain about the wet and gushy. It was me, him, and James Caldwell. We were all on together. And he was trying to make sense of the wet and gushy. I don't know, he made a lot of sense, but razzle dazzle them. That was club anthem. What was the club anthem? Razzle dazzle? I remember from an old movie, something was called Give Them the Old Razzle Dazzle, Razzle Dazzle Them. I know that's not the song you're talking about. Sometimes after I get off this thing, I'll be thinking, I should have sang that song. Oh, that song just came back. MacArthur's Park is melting in the rain. I don't think that I could take it because it took too long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again. Who would she be matched up with? Who would the lady be matched up with? Let me see. Here we go with the brain farts now. Maybe Shaka Khan, and what's the lady I was just singing? Pitiful. Okay. I didn't like it when that black woman come after Miss Cardi B because of the way she speaks. She's illiterate. Nigga, we all have an opinion. Just like you have an opinion, we have an opinion. I don't mind talking about politics. Even though I don't know all the intricacies of it, I still have an opinion. Don't let people devalue your opinion like you're not able to speak. Cardi B has got a huge, huge audience. And if she wants to express her political views to her audience, then so be it. That's her contribution. She got a lot more followers than that woman, Candace Owens. I'm just even figuring out who that is because I don't watch Fox News. Just like an old classic Uncle Tom over there trying to make points with the white people. Candace Owens, yeah. I don't like shit like that. I don't like people trying to degrade somebody else, unless I'm reading them. Degrade somebody else for their level of education and what they know. Stupid ass bitch. Why don't you know not to be on Fox News? Gotta walk around frowning all the goddamn time because the whole world hates your ass. You got your opinion. Everybody got opinion, honey. Everything that God put on this planet has got an opinion. Maybe we wouldn't have so many problems if we learn how to listen to other people's opinions. Talk to the man in the street instead of spitting on him. Candace Owens. Who is she? That's the new Omarosa. Girl. Donna Summers. MacArthur's Park is melting. Yeah, she's gone. But I'm just, you can't do verses if you're dead. Okay. I was just saying hypothetically, who would she be matched up with? Maybe somebody like that. Who was the other disco divas? I don't even remember. Yeah, this is just an opinion over here, Sherry. But you got one. Yours is just as valuable as mine, honey. Just as valid. Some people like your opinion, some people don't. Yeah, they kill me. They like to always put down all these rappers and stuff like that. These people are sitting on a value of $100 million. And you sitting up here trying to kiss these white people ass to get $150,000 a year. What is the point in trying to put down somebody else's views? You think you are the queen of all political thought. So then what? You ain't the queen to her or her followers, apparently. They'll pay a whole lot more to see her than you. Miss Cardi B took her broken English, honey, and turned it into an empire. I respect the rappers and people like that. I mean, they've done an amazing thing. Beat the pinatas. I mean, oh, I need the dollars. I said, like I like it. Cha-chang. Beat it up like pinatas. That's lyrics, Steve Urkel. Natalie, okay, those two could. But Natalie Cole wasn't really a disco singer, but they ain't got to sing the same way. Well, they're both deceased. Maybe they can do it in heaven, honey. Natalie Cole. Hey, Mr. Mel. I almost got beat up in prison behind Mr. Melody because every night, you know, we were all locked up waiting to be housed. And I would break out and, hey, Mr. Melody, you got me humming to the crazy beat. The more I hear it, the more I like it. You really made a hit with me, Mr. Melody, Mr. Melody. And I could go in this loud falsetto. And all the motherfuckers, I'm going to kill your ass, nigga. Shut the hell up. And they would come up to me after when we were unlocked for eat or something like that. Hey, could you knock off the singing? There were moments in prison. Funny moments, honey, believe it or not. The Pointer Sisters. Now, how many sisters are left? I know one died recently, right? So maybe the other sisters are still singing. And the Mary Jane girls. Okay, that's a different era than me. Cheryl Lynn, a disco diva. Let me see. I knew Last Dance. I knew. What's that big disco song? If they could see me now. Something like that. They got me hopping to your crazy beat, Mr. Melody, Mr. I was young. I think I might enjoy getting on their nerves. Ruth Pointer passed away. Okay. You gotta remember now, most of these people are in their 70s now. Like all the ladies we mentioned in the last couple of days, they're all in the 70s. So when they do start going, they'll be close together, you know, 80s, 90s. Vanity 6. Okay. Mary Jane girl. Vanity 6. Prince, Virgin of the Man. They were sexy. Did you ever get into a relationship with any of your cellmates? I tried it one time. Okay, y'all who are being honest, y'all know I like white guys, right? But when you go to prison, you can't do that. Races do not mix. So the kind of guys I would generally be hitting on, I couldn't do anything with them. If somebody found out you were seeing a white person, you could get jumped on. Because the thing was, whenever you got in a fight with your partner or your friend, that could turn the whole yard against each other. Because anytime there was a fight between two races, it didn't matter if because you were lovers or you were enemies or you worked in the same place. It didn't matter. So you could close the whole damn yard down. So if you're going to be with somebody in there, and all the straight men, for some reason, they wanted to know who was zooming who. But I met two guys there, right? And as it turns out, both of them were just using me. They weren't into me. I wasn't really into them. One was real cute guy, but we weren't really attracted for the right reasons. They were trying to get zooms and whams. When you're in there, if you have somebody sending you money from the outside, you're like a rich person in there. Don't take that much to do it. You're getting $100 a month. You know, it's like a wealthy person. So they'll cling to you just for what they can get out of you. So I like both of the guys though, but it didn't turn into anything. Right. A lot of gay boys, people always talking about rape in prison and all that. It was not so, maybe it was so like that back in the 60s or something like that. But my experience of it, I never saw any of that. there were so many gays in there and so many men, because a lot of men, even though they say they're 100% straight, when you're doing life or you're doing 25 to life or you're doing 30 years in prison, you might get a little lonely. So gay boys were always real popular in there. I don't think I was feminine enough for those guys, though, because a lot of them came in and they start putting this shit on their eyebrow. I'm talking about not queens. These are just gay boys. They start being more feminine to attract all these men and get all the attention from these men and stuff. That was so not who I am. So I think they might be a little intimidated by being with someone as masculine as I am. It seems like they prefer someone who is effeminate because it doesn't challenge their masculinity, right? So no, I didn't have a lot of that going on, even all the years, because I was going to jail a long time before I started going to prison. I don't remember having any, but jail time was always short time, and even prison time. My prison time, I never spent more than the first time I spent like close to 2 years in there, but after that it was just violations. So I was only in there like 7 months. People who are going in there for some serious time, they tend to hook up, right? People get lonely, and even if it isn't that sexual, they still tend to get with somebody. And the lifers especially, they've been known to hold hands with their lovers on the yard, and she oils his feet on the yard and all this kind of stuff. They got real relationships in there. There are even some circumstances where the lifer will get the gay boy into some kind of trouble, so he won't leave. So you got to be real careful to get away from his ass, right? Because he ain't leaving. He ain't never leaving. So there was all kind of drama like that in there. The race is not mixing thing. It's only in California. I don't know about any other place, but it's definitely that way in California. They will not put a black person and a white person in the same cell. That was even true in the jail system here and in why did I have white? No, LA had they would mix you in the same cell, but San Francisco they don't do that generally. Although the boy that I was with him for 8 years, but we were both in and out of prison. He was white, I was black, and they never put us in the same cell, right? But for some reason or other, I mean, I don't understand it. They let us be in the same cell. Now, our guard was a lesbian woman, so it might have been that she might have just went out of her way to see that, because we knew each other from the street, and put us in the same cell. And I fell in love with him in the same cell. I don't know if he fell in love with me, but we got real close in that cell. So I would imagine hip to the hippity hop, that hip to the dip, it would depends on what state you're in, right? Shawshank Redemption, were those cellies? I don't know. I know a lot of these gays like these prison fantasies. So you go on the porn sites and they got these little cardboard bars and all that. That's always been around, just like with straight people with these nurses, men with nurses and all that kind of whatever. School marms or. Do you keep in contact with any of your old cellmates? Absolutely not. I had to do a clean break of Sephora. I used to run into some of the guys on the street, but they're not interested in me. For the first 2 years, all they had to say to me, you got anything? Our relationships were just built around drugs. And I was a popular guy out there. But if I'm not in the life, they're not interested in me, honey. They're moving on to somebody who got something. Be quiet, please. Sweeney. Oh. Say hi. Hi, Sweeney. Daddy, you hit the skateboard out there? So no, one of the things about defeat you in sobriety, if you want to hang on to the old life. I have had friends who could not break with their old friends. A lot of this was going on when we were in program. But I knew from very early on, I couldn't be friends with any of my old friends. Now, a couple of them have gotten clean. The guy who I was in love with, he was in jail. That's probably the only person that I would allow in my house anymore. I ran into a good friend of mine, the guy who I jumped in his fight and ended up getting robbed on the street. Anyway, he was a nice kid, but I let him come to my apartment one night just to see where I live. A few years ago, and he ended up coming back that night. Then he came back the next morning. He had blood on his nose and all. I let him sleep on the couch, and my nephew was here at the time, sleeping in the other room. And my nephew, he closed up all of his video games and all that, to hid him under the couch because he could see that this guy was not somebody I should have been hanging out with. So that was the last time I let someone out of that life in here. Now our church is LGBT, and I'm sorry for the other letters that I don't know. I think I is one and A is one, but we're all together, right? So many of the people who I run into in church, I knew them from the street, or I knew them from prison. And if they claim that I'm clean, it's cool, But I don't try to hang out on the street at all. That's why I don't even have board, because all my equipment still work. I can still be a sexual person, but I just don't want to deal with the street people. It's just done. I had a boyfriend in the pen. Oh, you had a boyfriend in the pen? Oh, somebody finally admitted that they were in the pen too. Thank you, Steve Urkel. I thought I was the only one. The onlyest one. Knowing they got brothers and cousins and nieces and nephews. You had a boyfriend in the pen? Yeah, it happens. I mean, most of the gay boys had boyfriends, or they had somebody who was giving them zooms and whams. But I didn't see all that abuse they talk about in fiction. Anytime you watch a prison movie, there's always somebody threatened. They always got the scene where the guy's got his bunk, his bedding, and he's walking down the aisle, and everybody's cat buster. Ooh, ooh, fresh meat. Ooh, hot piece. Most people, I never saw that. They might do it to a gay boy or a queen or something like that. Right. But I didn't see all this prison rape stuff. And maybe if you're into a level 5 prison, is it 5 or 4? I don't even remember. Level 5 prison, most serious prison. You might find the people, because you're dealing with murderers, you might find people in that situation more intimidating, or be more susceptible to do something like that, because that's where they were housed, rapists and things too, right? But in those prisons, usually they're only on the yard for an hour or so a day, hour and a half a day, I think, to walk around by themselves, on the yard by themselves. They're kept separate, and they don't have a cellie. So maybe some situations that happens. I never saw it. Prison Bay. I had one old player try to play me. He had a cool game too. It's not like I'm not attracted to black guys at all. I mean, it could have happened in that situation, but the two that I chose just wasn't right. So in the gay world, though, you can have boyfriends every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, honey. Most of the time, it's not any serious thing. It's not a lover. Prison sex sounds hot. Well, usually you got to have somebody out there looking out for you. We were in the dorm. Used to be San Quentin used to have a boxing ring there, right? That was recreation. They cleared that out, and they put all the HIV people in this it used to be a gym, right? Took all the gym stuff out, so it became a huge dormitory. So if you go have sex with somebody, I don't know how wonderful it was. They did it every night, don't get me wrong, but you had to have a lookout because the beds are just side by side. You got to go the top bunk. I'm sweating again. Sorry. The top bunk, they will put a sheet or a blanket over the top bunk. It would fall down to cover the bottom bunk, right? So you would cover both sides, and then you have either one or two people to look out for you while you have sex. That's the only way you're going to have sex, because you're in a dorm. So I don't know how wonderful it was. I had plenty of friends. Sometimes they did it every night, but usually it's hiding behind a stall somewhere, or hiding in the broom closet and trying to do it in 3 minutes before the man's walking. There's so much security there that there's not a lot of opportunity for two people to be alone together, unless they are cellies. Some prisons, they live in the same cell together, and if they are lovers, that they would grease the right palm, shall we say, and get in the same cell. They would even put them in the same cell if they are together, they're partners. Right? But as far as all this bar service, I got to explain to the ladies. Bar service is when the men just lay it on the bars and certain type of person will go and service that. They find that erotic. Maybe they get a soup or candy bar. Yes, 50 cents was a good price. People using people. Yeah, that's right. People moving out. People moving in. Why? Because of the color of their skin. Work, work, work. Prison was not nearly as horrible as I was led to believe. I was terrified when I first went. Because I was a person from Los Angeles. They sent me all the way to San Quentin. I didn't know anybody up here. So, and of course, you had heard stories about San Quentin because it's one of the oldest prisons. So you always heard about Folsom or San Quentin because they've been around so damn long. So I was nervous, and I had some street kind of a personality where I don't think it was obvious that I was scared, but I was the first time I went in there. Remember the first time I got to San Quentin Yard, and when they finally let us go on a regular yard, and I figured that I'm straight, nobody knows I'm out, kind of thing, right? I think I'm cool. I felt like I was a cool person. And I went and asked his brother on the yard, I said, I need to find the library, right? And he said, I need these things played with. True story. Honey, if you need them things played with, I suggest you find somebody else to play with them. So I was not as discreet as I thought it was. But nobody ever put any pressure on me to have sex with them. I don't think I even had sex in there. If I did, just barely. I don't remember it. No. My things was sex and drugs. So if I didn't have the drugs, honey, I wasn't that interested. Okay, I answered that already there. Let me see. Oh, where we at, people? I want to pull that Big Mac truck. Wet and gushy. I want to pull that Big Mac truck right inside this little garage. We assume, she says it's a little garage. I mean, and we don't know about his Big Mac truck either, but it sounds good. Steve Urkel, where you go to prison? Was here in the States? Most of the gay boys had boyfriends, honey. If that was their type anyway, I mean, a lot of guys, they love the idea of being with all these straight-ish kind of guys. I've never been attracted to them. I've never been attracted to these guys with these low-riding pants, and I just never liked it. Hip-hop type guys, they love that idea. So they get in there, they get all excited about it. You very rarely see two gay boys together, though. That was the strangest thing. On the streets, people are either straight or gay. And there, they want straight with gay. So they consider them straight. A lot of guys, that drives them nuts. They just love it. Never been my thing. A prison bay. I thought we were singing. No, someone said don't sing. You guys got me going left and right. Got me working day and night. Hold on. Prison sex sounds hot. Well, Steve Urkel, you say you were in there, so you know what it's like. Now, if you're in the cell with somebody, it's fine. You know, you guys can get it on. But you trying to do stuff behind the dumpsters and all that kind of shit. I don't know how sexy that is. But some people on the street love to go in the bushes and have sex. So depends on what turns you on, what you like. But that bar service was not a joke. People using people. Those were the kind of gays they had in the Bible. Those were always rapists. People raping each other. Oh, I'm way behind. I remember I read this a long time ago. Okay. I have never been to, well, oh, you say you have never been to prison. I thought you said you did be to, What is going on here? Y'all playing with me? Steve Urkel said, "Was it tug and pull? A tug and a pull? I need more than that." Okay. So you weren't in prison? Okay, Steve Urkel. I don't mean to suggest you did something you didn't do. Maybe you just like the idea of it. There's always been part of gay porn is people getting it on in prison. Prison sex. That was scared me my whole entire life. I always thought, oh, I would never want to end up in prison. I'll never end up doing drugs. All the things I said I'd never do, I'd end up doing. Okay, Charles Dotson. Tim, so you got you to the point where you didn't want sex unless there were drugs involved. I think I got used to having sex with drugs. When you have sex with drugs, it's not like there's any process to it. You know, you do it and then bam, there you are on your knees, blessing him. But I don't know what happened to the sex thing. I wasn't that interested anymore. I guess I was kind of a romantic. I still like the idea of knowing somebody that I'm having sex with, some kind of relationship with them. But when you're young, I mean, in my 20s, you know, people like to just get it on with anybody. So many people, almost everybody, when they stop doing drugs, of course, eventually, it may take a year or two, they'll get back to where they were, where they're having a normal kind of regular standard sex life. I never got back to that. But then it wasn't all that for me even before I started doing drugs. Basically, this is the way I was even in my 20s. People would say, oh, don't you want to go and do this? Don't you want to do this? Whatever. Maybe I did, part of my mind did, but I never did it. I was always married through my whole 20s. And then when we broke up, I didn't do nothing. That's why I ended up on dope. Right? So yeah, they were both, they became intertwined for me. And then you have to remember now, I'm 60-something years old. So there's something that happens naturally. God already planned for us to lose our sex drive at some point. Most people in their 60s, 70s, they're not getting it on, at least not on a regular basis. If them and their wife still together, maybe kind of thing, but they're not going out there. And then when you're an older person, it's so oftentimes the sex is unequal. So you may still like people who are young and attractive. I mean, most people I'm not attracted to wrinkles and fat stomachs and stuff like that, right? So you might be attracted to the same type of person, but that person is not really attracted to you. They either want something from you or they're just doing it out of mercy, whatever the hell the situation is. It's not equal. So it's not as much fun. I want to be attracted to somebody who is attracted to me. Now, I haven't experienced that in years and years, and I think it's just natural. Right? I mean, most of the guys I know my age, they're not, a couple of them that hang on. They're very militant about it as well. Oh, I still get mine. Oh, I got me 2 and 3. Whatever. Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all ain't getting it on like in your 20s. Y'all know. People say they don't understand, but they do. But, you know, there's still things like loneliness you got to deal with. Sex with a stranger is not going to solve that. It's not going to fix that. I don't need to have sex anymore. I think it's just natural. There's one kind of issue I ain't got to deal with anymore. Where it was so important before, where I was willing to risk my freedom and my life pursuing it. Doing anything. I mean, I was only on the street. I was in prison 10 times in 10 years, right? So a violation is 7 months with halftime. So I was only on the street an average 3 months a year for 10 years. All for sex. That was the only payoff. There's nothing else to it. People get other things out of drugs. When their lives are not moving the way they would like them to be, it takes the pain away, you know. But for me, it's about a sex thing. And it's somewhat about a little bit of power, because when you sell drugs, you become kind of important to your community, your drug community, but nobody else knows who you are. Most people just consider you a bum. Okay, Steve Urkel. So we understand you've never been to prison. You were just curious about prison. Okay. Yeah. Prison KK. Mr. Sudi, I am not trying to associate you with prison KKKKK. What is KKKKKKK? Y'all added another K to make KKK good? Two more Ks. All right. People have fantasies like that, though. It's amazing how much sex you have in your head, though. I used to wonder because when I was with my partner, who I was strongly attracted to, but I always fantasize. And I used to ask him, "Do you don't fantasize when you have sex?" He said, "No, I don't fantasize shit. I just have sex." So a lot of women would tell you that they fantasize when they have sex, but men tend to be more physical, kind of, they like the physicality of sex. But you have a lot of it in your mind, honey. So you can have an active sex life with just you and your brain, right? It don't take all that. Conversation with ourselves. I can tell you, a lot of married people don't have no sex. They don't have no sex, child. 67, crawling all over each other, child. She said, "Abner, I have a headache." For 4 years? That's right. You don't like it, pay me half. Hi, Keisha Payne. I am reading Meth Monster. I love it so far. I have laughed and cried reading it. I love how you share your story. I am on chapter Hooray for Hollywood. All right. Yeah. When you get old, it's all you got is your memories, right? But people start talking about this Meth Monster again because some people trying to embarrass me over there. See what the devil planned for your demise. What the devil intended for bad, God can use it for good. Yeah, the Meth Monster. I'm so glad I wrote that book. That's got to be 14 years ago, I think. I wrote it 14 years ago. It took me 10 years to write the book series. And then before that, it was 2 years before that. So it's about 12, 13, 14 years. I don't know. The dates are on these things, really. This is not the Meth Monster, though. This one was published in 2012. How's that possible? Anyway, I think I was about 4 or 5 years clean when I wrote Meth Monster. YouTube brought that book to life because before I had no really way of promoting myself. When I got on here, it kind of reactivated things, because I got all these new friends. Thank you, peace, love. Hi, kitty cat, you little cutie self. I wonder if I should give me a kitty cat. The kitty cats are so cute, the little small ones, but I think I'm only supposed to have one pet here. The building is no pets, but people who have a care animal can have a pet, right? I don't know that you could have more than one, though. If I could be sure that I could have more than one, I'd probably get me a kitty cat. Well, I'm finding them very cute lately. Thank you, Nicole. You see. Before I am dead. Your Prevagen isn't working. You're right about that, honey. Who said that? That Prevagen, honey. I do get like, my head doesn't feel the same and my mouth is more dry. And it's got to be that Prevagen I said I'd try, right? I said, let me try this thing for 3 months and see if my memory is improved. But last night, when I was trying to talk about Patty and Gladys, I kept forgetting Gladys Knight's name. I kept looking over, who in the hell am I talking about? Gladys Knight. So I don't know if it's making it bad or worse. I'm going to buy it one more time, give it the whole 90 days so I can say, okay, I tried that and it didn't work. Or I tried that and it did work. It did improve my memory. Right. But yeah, that memory goes, I mean, it gets wiry sometimes. And plus, the other thing about if you don't use your brain, they say you snooze, you lose, right? So when you're still working, you're still interacting with people, you're still going on the job somewhere, your brain stays more sharp. After you retire and you're just sitting around, I think it's not getting the proper exercise that it needs. I think it's a big part of it. That's why a lot of people they don't want to retire. They want to just keep on working. No, do take it. Okay. Goody, you tried it? Prevagen? It's got me hell dehydrated. And I was walking today. I said, my head does feel weird. It's not like I feel high or anything, but I don't know that I'm remembering anything any better. Some things I do remember, some things I don't. That's why I'm challenged when I try to sing something. Can I remember any of the words? Seems like I can remember older things better than newer things. But that was weird last night trying to remember Patti LaBelle. I mean, Patti LaBelle. No. I was trying to remember. See, there it is. Gladys Knight's name. I kept getting a blank on it. I had to look over and see what her name was. Now, I've been following that woman for 60 years. I don't know. Hope it don't get real bad. My mom has got issues with her memory. So it makes you paranoid about what's it going to be like for you. But most old people, I mean, she's in her 80s. It's a big difference. But a lot of people, when you get to be a certain age, honey, the memory's that's not that sharp. So I might have to start writing myself more notes. Keep thinking, power going. Okay. Keep that brain moving, honey. That's another good thing about writing, too. It gives you a way to exercise your mind, to be creative. That girl was reading today. That just blew me away, though. I said, damn, I was drawn into the story. I said, oh, my God, that's me. That is my story. I was very satisfied with the way it sounded. That usually, if you get like an Amazon book, you'll get somebody to write, if you're lucky, 3 or 4 lines for a review for a book, right? On this particular book, The Epiphany, I got this one guy. That was an interesting story. This guy named Alan. He called that book, you can see the review on Amazon, a nearly perfect novel. This is a professional reviewer, right? So he put me up, was it Lamdia? I forget the name of the company. I was the book of the month for that book club, right? And he got so excited about that book. He called it nearly a perfect novel. And then there was this other guy who was a professor, this black guy who was a professor of African American studies. He gave me a ride home from church one day. My church is in Oakland. I'm in San Francisco. I was promoting books, giving them away. He got so excited about that book. He read it in one day. And he came back. He wanted to know what the whole process was. How did you come up with the characters and all that? So those two people, this happened within like 2 weeks of each other. And unfortunately, the guy who got so excited, the Allen guy, who was a professional reviewer, he said he was going to help me with this other book that I wrote called Muse. He said, oh, I want to re-edit it for you because it has too many problems. So I was waiting for him. I sent him the novel, Muse, and he wouldn't contact me. So after a few weeks, I decided to contact him. And he says, oh, I had a heart attack. That's what happened. I still love your work, still love your book. I'd love to work with you, but I had a heart attack. Now, I didn't believe the man because he was a total stranger. I didn't believe him. I said, okay, well, he doesn't want to do it anymore. Maybe he didn't like the book, whatever. And about 2 weeks later, on Facebook, I saw that man had actually died. He had another heart attack. So he had died. That's the closest I ever get to someone actually wanting to work with me because he wanted to redo my books and he had all kind of plans on how to work with me. And was going to edit another novel I was working on for free. And so the other guy, the black guy, he ended up moving out of San Francisco, but he ended up writing his own books. And he's a professor, so he had like interactive books on there. So it turned out to be a good thing for him. But he was inspired by me in my writing. Brain isn't a muscle, although it contains a bit of muscle. Yeah, but you got to use that brain to do something with, honey, I think. If you just sitting around watching the Golden Girls and your brain is not going to be as sharp as it would. Just like if Patty was singing every week, every month, if they were still singing, going on the road and all of that, their brain would be much sharper But when you've been laying down for 5 or 6 months, it's not as sharp, I don't believe. I do believe that's true. I believe when I was writing for that 12 years, it just come. It just did it automatically. It was no big deal. But then when I stopped, when I started doing this YouTube thing, I couldn't recapture that same energy. So stay involved in what you're doing, people. Some people, they won't retire. My mother worked since she was damn near 80. I think she was 77, 78. She didn't want to stop, you know, and now she has her issues. Huh? Steve Urkel, are you being misbehaving? He said, I would be in a cell with Wiley because he makes me laugh. But he also said, yeah, you got to get it in, baby. You got to pay the piper. Hey, lights out. We can laugh and it's all good, you know. Yep, I like a Wally. We did a good interview. I liked it. Sometimes you think you like people, and then you get in that little bitty cell with them. I mean, you had a cell half the size of my bedroom, just the bedroom, not including the hallway and all that kind of stuff. You're in tight quarters, so you might think you like them. You get in there with them, you're all boom, 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 beating each other's ass. I was most of the time in, depending on what pen you were in. I also went to CMC, is California Men's Colony. Now there, you actually had a cellie. That's the only prison I was ever in where I actually had a cellie. In San Quentin, I was in a dorm, and I went there most. In Vacaville, we all had single man cells. At least all the HIV people had single man cells, so you didn't have no cellie. But at CMC, you had a cellie, and you could choose your cellie pretty much. That's the more ideal situation if you're going to be involved with somebody. Let me see. I don't believe Uncle Timothy Blaine would spend 10 seconds in jail with anyone from the beef sector. Can y'all imagine me in there with certain people? Lord have mercy. Yeah, you'd rather have a cellie that you actually get along with more than, I mean, sex lasts, how long will that last? 5-10 minutes? Couldn't last too long in there because people are constantly shining the light on you. What's going on in there? But you want to be in there with somebody who you actually can get along with. You have something in common with. One time they put me in a cell at CMC with a guy who had killed a gay man, accusing him of having being a child molester, right? According to the story we looked up, the man wasn't no child molester or anything. The man was a homophobe. And they got me in the cell with him. When I found out that, I took my shit when they opened the door and put it in the middle of the yard. I said, that man has killed somebody. He is a homophobe. He hates homosexual people. And he is just weird. So they took me out, put me in another cell. I don't want to be in there with that dude. Some of these prisons, you can be in there for drunk driving and be in there with a serial killer. No shit. So many people, they've been in there a long time. They lowered their levels. Well, that guy definitely killed one person. Then I was in the cell with another guy who I didn't want to be in there with people who go snap and go off when they found out my tea. One time they put me in there with a gangbanger. He found out my tea. Or they gossiped about it. Oh man, I heard you got one of them things in your cell. It's a CMC. He came in there and told me, look at, we can't do this, bro. Because if tell me that you're a homosexual, I assume that you are. There's no way we can be in the same cell because they're going to say I'm a homosexual and they're going to hurt my ass. So I had to move out of that cell. For the most part, I didn't have a lot of bad experiences in there, though. Not really. I was still in the street life, so I thought it was kind of cool to be dealing with these dudes. I didn't like being in there. I didn't want to be in there. But like I never got in a fight in there. Did I ever get in a fight in there? I had one of those slappy kind of fight, but that wasn't shit. I didn't have a lot of problems in there. What is Safara's question? Uncle Tim, did you see my super chat question? You had a super chat question? Where's your super chat question? You know I ain't supposed to miss that, honey. If you could pick 3 content creators to spend 10 years, girl, 10 years in the cell with, who would they be and why? 3 content creators? These people go off of, honey. Isn't Five fighting the ones that were her best friends last week? Aren't they the ones they fighting today? Nope. I don't think I'll be in the cell with nobody for no 10 years. And I can't think of no content creators. I think I could probably, if we just had to be in there, you had no choice. I could probably get along with James Caldwell. I think I would find him amusing. We never had any beef. I think maybe Kelly Love. I'll probably tease him a lot, but I don't think we would have any serious problem. You're talking 10 years. Let's take it a little shorter. Whatever. Who else? Who else do I think I have a decent, nice personality? I think I get along with Wally. I think I could probably get along with Wally, but I would not commit to 10 years with anybody. Sephora. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. These YouTube people are too fickle. You think you want to shout them out and all that one week, next week, that's the one they chopping each other's heads off. They get bored. They want a good fight. I mean, I don't even know if them ladies are over there. Is that a real beef or did they decide to have that beef? Right? They ain't digging too deep. But they fall out too often. So I just say keep your distance, you know. I couldn't even live in my apartment with nobody for 10 years. Or at least I never have. I like that Squeenie dog. How long you been here, boy? What you doing? Oh, he done it by his daddy feet. A dog is cool. My lover, we only lived together a total of 5 years. No, you never know him till you live with him, honey. I've had roommates. People start slamming shit. People want to know who left toothpaste in the sink. Your mammy. Bitch, please. Pick it up, nigga. Oh, there was some paper on the floor in the bathroom. You didn't pick it up? No, I ain't with the living with people stuff. Before I moved in here, I lived in a studio apartment by myself in a new building. It was nice. But before that, I lived in a house I had 4 roommates. And before that one, it was another house with 4 roommates. It was this place. It was like a halfway kind of place. Anyway, we were just sober people. But I lived in my room the whole time, just like I live in my room here. I didn't mix that much. The more you mix with them, the more chances are you're going to fall out with them. I hope that answered it for you, darling. So the 3 that would be most likely to get along with would be James and Kelly Love, and I think Wally. I don't know. I got to see if Wally can fight first. Can't take a punch. I got to see, honey. That's why y'all ladies, y'all gotta know these men, honey. When you get married, I'm not with the old school. Old school say don't give them the milk before the cookies or whatever the shit. Don't do nothing with them until you marry them. You can put a ring on it and all this stuff. I said, oh no, honey. My mama made that mistake, and that has scarred me for life. Know these Negroes before you move in with them and live with them. So I say live with the person first. Before you marry somebody, you've committed now to this relationship, this long-term relationship. It's gonna be hard for you to get out of. Live with them first. Live, and see them as mad as they ever gonna get. Are they gonna punch you in your mouth? That's my biggest fear for women, especially. Just because of my own experience. Know these people. Maybe he's horrible with money. Maybe he goes to work and makes a decent living, but he's horrible with money. He don't pay his bills. So he's got bad credit for a lifetime. He's going to mess up his credit, then he's going to mess up your credit. Find out if he's a womanizer. Find out if he likes a lot of strange pieces, honey. It's okay to know that. When I moved in with my lover, I didn't know what that boy liked to had gypsy feet, shall we say. Well, I did kind of know about it. I suspected about him. We tried it anyway. But don't just be going in there moving with people or marrying them, especially. No, I ain't doing no sex with Wally. He ain't my T. Wally got to be my T. I ain't having no sex with nobody, period. Fuck that. $10 years. Those just people I think I had most in common with, particularly Kelly Love and James, because we're near the same age. They're a little younger than me, but I think I would find them more amusing. Hi, Nicole Reloaded. Did I say hi to you earlier? Oh, right now we're in freestyle, Richard Manley. Whatever you want to talk about. People like to talk about prison. I don't get embarrassed to talk about stuff like that, though. It doesn't bother me at all. Drugs, prison, all that shit. When you've been blessed, it's like heaven. Nicole Reloaded says, Charles Dawson, God will forgive me. I love me some Wally. Okay. So Wally's amusing. He's interesting conversation. I noticed on all them trips, they all come away. They all like Wally, even though they were supposed to be enemies on here. Black or green tea? I don't drink tea. I used to drink chamomile to go to sleep. Then I discovered Benadryl, so I don't even mess with the chamomile anymore. If you're asking me, Snoop, I don't drink tea. I should. I mean, I should. It's relaxing. That's a good idea, actually, because I have a cabinet full of it. I drink coffee. I buy Starbucks ground up. I used to buy Folgers for years. I think I like the Folgers better. This Starbucks is kind of heavy, but only in the morning. And then I'll eat. After that, I'll either drink energy drinks or water. I prefer to just be drinking water. And now I started drinking this diet soda again. I've got hooked on diet soda. I stopped that for 8 years, and then all of a sudden now I'm back on it. But it has no sugar. Problem with diet soda is it's loaded with sodium. So no matter how much of it you drink, you're still thirsty. Right? And that's how they sell you soda. That's why it's always on sale. Because they want to get you hooked on soda. And then you'll come and pay full price. Hi, tackhead nurse, Tony. Tackhead nurse. I can't be disrespectful to nurses. I love them, honey. I've had some great nurses in my time. With Rico, oh, now I hit Rico. Honey, I like that little skinny body. Oh, did I say that? And Rico wouldn't be drunk in there either. It'd be the real Rico. Sometimes on the street, you run into people and they turn into monsters, right? But when you're in prison, one thing about it, you're not high. You're not drunk, right? So you're getting the real person. But Rico's a decent guy, you know. He's got to go through what he's got to go through and come to the conclusions that he comes to. But he's a young person. It seems a little hypocritical to me. We become these old queens, right? We got all the answers. We know everything. You ain't supposed to do this, don't do that. Meanwhile, we did the exact same thing they're doing. I was worse. So people got to live their life until they until they want to change it. Good to the last drop and cheap to the last drop. Snoop Chappelle is much cheaper. Plus, it helps you with your bodily movements and things in the morning. But after noon or so, I just can't stomach coffee. I am 38. Ooh, in the prime of your life. Mm-hmm. Where that? I lost. I'm 38. Where that happened? What happened? I am 38. I am 38. Have not dated nor sex in like 12 years. 30. What's wrong? What's wrong, Richard? Well, you probably like me. I was just see what I mean about saying, giving people advice. You do the same thing. Have not dated 12. These are your prime years, though, Richard. It gets hard. We think we'll do it later on. Stuff. Have yourself a time while you can. But 38 is a decent age, you know. Some people really want to have a relationship with people, though. Somebody can come into your life, honey, and you can sit down and start talking to them, and you just talk and talk and talk, and then you get on the phone late at night, and oh my God, it's 1 o'clock. I gotta go to work. You just talk and talk and talk and talk. That's the beautiful part of falling in love with somebody. People always assume it's all about sex. They're so sexual. Sex. I don't think that is really the highlight of your life, how much sex you have. But don't wait too long, Richard. Go out there and meet some people, man. I would love to be 38 years old. If I were only a child again. No one's ever been so good to me since then. People of the world. Only a child, and say it again. Hey, Curtis Mayfield. Y'all don't know nothing about that. You got a Charlie horse? Oh, Lord. You got to talk to Patty, Nicole Reloaded. Nicole said, I got a Charlie horse the other day, and my legs still hurt. I'm glad I haven't had none of them in a while. Ooh, that's terrible, honey. When it just locks up on you, and you just, oh, shit. I used to have them. I don't know what stopped it or why it stopped or anything like that. I feel for you. Y'all see Patty kick her shoe off yesterday? She kicked her shoe off through a sacroiliac. She said, oh, it hit me right in my knee. That's what it's like, honey. I can reach something for the dog right here, and then it'll be, oh! Because we're not exercising, moving around. That makes it harder on your body. Some people tell me that Charlie horse, Nicole Reloaded, banana potassium is good for that. Potassium is good for Charlie horse if you get cramps. I guess I'm not getting any of that kind of stuff. I'm not going anywhere, honey. That Prevagen isn't working at all. The Prevagen isn't working at all. Am I worse? I've always been pretty bad. I ain't tripping on it myself. I said, well, just what you got to deal with, honey. That's what you got to deal with. Put notes up. Sometimes if I have an appointment or something, I got to put a post-it note on the TV. I'll forget it every time. Right, Richard Manley. You're not to be ashamed of, brother. That's who you are. You're not all that sexual. That's who you are. I have a ball with my porn. Me and my porn. That's like my boyfriend, honey. And we can do a different thing every night. Oh. And then I can turn his ass off 6 minutes later. I ain't got to ask him, where you going? Uncle Tim tried Lavazza coffee, smoother than Starbucks. Okay. Lissy also? Lily? Okay. I'll try some different stuff. I think I have seen that one there, that Lily also. The Safeway. I don't know. Starbucks coffee is good when you get it there. It's good here too. I mean, it's okay. But you think, it's the same thing with these energy drinks. You think, I'm gonna get a kick. This is a drug addict move. You want to get something from outside of you to give you energy, like coffee. I'm gonna drink coffee and I'm gonna get up and do something. I think you have to drink coffee and get up and do something, and then you'll have energy doing that thing. But to drink coffee and get back in bed, it just doesn't seem that to work with me. Energy drinks either. And that is just, I don't think that works at all. I think that's just when you first start trying it. I've tried all of them. All they do is make your stomach hurt, make you feel dizzy. Nothing was like when I was going to the gym. You know what? Have you guys canceled your gym memberships? I have been paying this damn YMCA for 6 months, 5 or 6 months, and I haven't been there. Why am I paying them people all that money? I'm thinking about just canceling. I mean, I get the old people discount, so it's only like $30 a month, 32, something like that. But why am I giving them anything? I can just re-sign up when this is over, right? I kind of felt like at first I was just supporting YMCA because it is kind of, they're constantly trying to raise money and stuff. But I'm beginning to think I need to go ahead and shut that off. Hell, that's one bill I can do without. And some of this TV stuff as well. Whenever they send notices, oh, we're going to open here, we're going to have half openings there, I'm not interested in none of that shit until they have a vaccine and one that proven that works. Oh, shit. Here come Gamage Carter. Oh, Lord. He knows all the personal business. Playing the one man. Baby, you can have sex with somebody else or you can have it with yourself. The end result is the same. I'm just telling you the truth. The doctor, you go to the doctor, they say you had plenty of sex. I said, doctor, does that mean I have to be with another person to have sex? Ejaculate often. It's good for your prostate. So it's actually even a physical element there. It is good for you to do that. God put it in your design for some reason or other. And it couldn't just be for making babies. Okay, Carter, what you say? Tim, you can hang 6 minutes. You can only hang 6 minutes. Oh, no wonder you're single. Oh. Gamage Carter, this is what I'm always talking about, trying to stay young, honey. He's my age. Anytime you mention anything about sex, he's gonna pipe up about how active his sex life is. Oh, they want me. Oh, I keep telling him, I hope he's not gonna be one of these gays out here on the Castro with hot pants on at 65, 70 years old. Skinny jeans and all that. I can hang a little 6 minutes. I can hang longer than 6 minutes, Gamage Carter, if I was interested, which I ain't. There was so much more in relationship than sex, though. I mean, cuddling was more important to me. I mean, laying down and going to sleep with somebody and laying on their chest and just being comfortable with them, not having to perform. That was much better to me, right? I mean, when you first get together, of course, you're hot. Can't hardly cool your bones. But as time goes on, it's more the companionship than it is the sex, right? I mean, I would hate to, I never asked my grandma this. I ain't going to be disrespectful. But I wonder how much these people who have been together 50, 60 years, how much are they really hopping on each other? It ain't all about sex, honey. Starbucks too damn expensive. Yeah. Well, for a while there, I thought I could afford it, but I'm starting to rethink it now. I've got those containers, which are like half the size of Folgers. But if I'm not enjoying the coffee, it's not really so much how much it costs. Is it a pleasant experience, right? For me, it's mostly about the creamer that is more important. Because the coffee, I really don't care. The creamer I use are those, what do you call those things? Those dairy creamers. Some usually it's hazelnut flavor or something like that. I get those dairy creamers. They make everything taste good to me. McDonald's coffee used to be good. Yeah, McDonald's coffee used to be pretty good. They don't have that many fast food restaurants in San Francisco. And now they've been starting to eliminate them. All the ones that are on the main strips, like Market Street and all that, they've closed them down because they turned out to be hangouts for homeless people. So the homeless people, I mean, it's not their fault, but where else can you get a hamburger for $1? So they get a hamburger for $1 and just hang out all day. Then nobody else wants to come in there because the place seems like it's crazy or dirty. But they've closed them all up and down Market Street. They closed Burger King. They closed McDonald's. They closed Carl's Jr. Then here in the Mission, which is the Latin area, they closed McDonald's, Burger King. This city doesn't do well with fast food restaurants. And even to find like something like a Wendy's and stuff, like you got to drive to find those places. It's called Illy. Yeah, I've seen it. Is Illy come in a can? Or maybe it's a metallic type packaging? Great coffee. I'm going to try it. Right there. Sometimes that's how you find things, people. Just watch these chats. You can learn a lot of stuff. Like somebody, I mentioned that I like Colombo, and someone in this chat, you might be here now, mentioned that Colombo is on Amazon Prime. I said, well, hell, I'm paying for Amazon Prime. Let me go over there. And now they got all the damn Colombo episodes, all of them, for free on Amazon. So I said, that was good information. Now I got it from somebody on here. So I've been watching Colombo for the last few days. I've shifted off from my The Good Wife, and now I'm watching that. So I go back and forth. But I've been chasing those episodes for years. I've seen most of them, but usually it's some are on YouTube, some are, they got some on Coffee, stuff like that. You can see one a week or something like that. But there you can see them all you want. And not only that show, but a lot of the old shows are out there on Amazon Prime as well. So we are covered as far as television goes. I'm starting to get concerned about Comcast. I don't know how their HBO and Showtime and Stars and all. I don't know how they can compete with these people. These people are offering a whole lot more for a whole lot less. Yeah, that was just good marketing with Starbucks. They created an empire. We used to have two right in front of me. They have one inside Safeway and one beside Safeway. The one outside of Safeway is closed down now. So all the stores that are in that building, except for Safeway, they're all boarded up. None of them made it. It was GNC in there. There was a See's Candy in there. Starbucks. Something else. They'll come back when we can go out and then can make the business. But a lot of businesses are boarded up. They will not reopen. They can't survive 6 months of this. Chick-fil-A, no. Did I try Chick-fil-A? No, I tried that other than Mexican food. It was horrible. Ugh. Instant. Gamish Carter is the only person I know living who still drinks instant coffee. I like my mom used to say, I like my coffee with my sugar. Gamish Carter, people do not drink. Well, they must drink it because they sell it, right? He drinks the instant coffee. Boy, get your coffee machine. Get your coffee maker. I have one. I have two of them in here. Matter of fact, you can have them. Oh, yeah. Almond milk shouldn't be in the dairy section. Almond milk? No, that's not dairy, is it? Up until recently, I was worked at a coffee shop. People in recovery. We had almond milk. After we opened it, we put it in the refrigerator. But it was stored on the shelf. Christy Tiff. What happened, Christy Tiff? Y'all forgive me if I miss your questions or things. Cosby Show is on Amazon. Oh, he got a place to have the Cosby Show. I know they turned so severely on Bill Cosby that I don't think you could even get it on regular TV. That was never one of my big ones. If anything that happened when I was doing drugs, I never watched it. I never watched television. When I was doing dope, all I watched was porn. Just being honest, people. Sorry. Excuse me. Yes, Sephora. Yeah, I used to stretch it out. I only do my body started hurting so much because I take this thing for cholesterol that I stopped doing the strenuous machines. I just do cardio. I go in there and sit on the bicycle for a half hour, and that was my whole workout. But I like going there because you're also walking as you're going there. You're walking as you get on the train. You know, you're moving around. You're talking to some people maybe. I do think I should probably just cancel that YMCA membership, though. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to keep paying it. Oh my God, I went way over time. Oh Lord, we just talking. I don't know why I put off live so long. I sure did, though. I resisted it for over a year. Okay, people. Y'all remember now, I want you to go over there to Almond Brown 09. Check out her page. Subscribe. And I want you to listen to her story. I think you guys would like it. I do a terrible job of promoting my fiction, right? But that kind of does it for you. Right? Because her reading is not like a stilted kind of reading. It's like a dramatic reading. So you really can get the story. And somehow or other, she's picked up who those people are. So I strongly recommend that. Okay? I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye, Carter, and everybody else.